So I just had this overwhelming sense of this is real. The miracles that I see all around me are real. So it seems like I've kind of been in this morning I asked for clarity. I asked for clarity, clarity, clarity. You know, I was talking in the video that I did this morning that I kind of saw as like not important, the video that I did this morning. But one of the things that I spoke about was asking for clarity in places that I don't have clarity, or places that you don't have clarity, just knowing, that they're kind of like in a fog. And that even though we know things, we know them, they don't really resonate with us all the way in as a knowing. And I was just doing some housework here before I get started on my day, and I was doing dishes. And I was thinking about all of the things that have been happening lately, and I've been talking about doing my God's work, things that I find important. Like, I'm always worried. I'm always in my avatar. I'm always worried about how am I going to make a living? How am I going to do this? I need to do this or I need to do that to make a living. But I have all these important projects that are like my God's work waiting for me to do, and I never seem to get to them, like putting out my book, or this the calendar that I'm working on, which is the original sun calendar, the original Jewish sun calendar that I'm working on with my father. And my father is older, and he has had cancer for years and years and years and years, and he has all sorts of health issues. I'm watching my words. In any case, it's something that I need to get to, that I've been meaning to get to, that it's been months and months and months that this has been on my plate and that I haven't done anything with. And I was thinking to myself, when am I going to sit down and do those things? But when am I really going to trust in God? And I feel like there are miracles happening all around me, and they're so evident that you can't not see them. It's every day. It's like I'm getting signs from the ethers, from God, from my surroundings, from the universe. I'm getting signs to trust miracle after miracle after miracle. I touch the world and miracles come from it. Even in ways that I'm putting out these videos, I'm getting more and more people watching. That even for me is like a sign that something I'm saying is interesting. Is touching other people in ways. And I also feel like these videos are my God's work. I've said that before. Sharing, just being me, just allowing myself to be. And I feel like it's bigger than me. It's not, if you would have told me if I'm trying to push myself, I wouldn't have believed you. I wouldn't have believed me if I had said that I was going to be making videos and putting them out there of me bawling about all sorts of subjects that are like off the wall, off mainstream is what I mean. Or like thoughts that I'm having. And sometimes I even realize that my thoughts aren't even fully evolved yet, and I'm speaking them in order to understand them. But I just had this overwhelming, like, almost like God sent, like, wake up, wake up. I keep on talking about all these signs. It's like, oh yeah, there's all these signs. Look how cool. It's almost like I'm trying to prove something, but I'm ignoring the signs, because what the signs are telling me is that, and like I've said before, that once you can see something, it turns into being your responsibility. So if I'm understanding all of these things and these miracles that are coming to me and showing me that I am a witness, I'm a witness. I really feel like I'm a witness, and as being a witness, it creates like a synergy. I think that's the word, but it creates like this energy that is round that feeds itself between me and my twin. Look, my daughter brought me that from Georgia. She went to Georgia a few days ago. Georgia, like the country in Europe. It's a beautiful little cat, ceramic cat. It's really nice. Really, really nice. I'm loved. I feel like the signs have been becoming so obvious and so like overwhelming. Like it's like sign after sign after sign after sign after sign. The universe is speaking with me. Once you learn the language of the universe and you understand, you learn to recognize the signs, then you start seeing, it's like learning a language. You start seeing the signs all around you, everywhere. And all of a sudden, I just got like kind of knocked over. Like, okay, how much more do you need to believe? How much more do you need to believe? Like, I'm going through this whole twin flame thing, which I know is just like knocked me, like, completely turned me inside out. It's like getting into this whirlwind. I see myself like as this spiral. Like all of a sudden, phew, like the Tasmanian devil in the cartoons in the Looney Tunes, like that. Just like, what is this? And it's surreal. It's supernatural. It's like one of those things that is like a portal where you're just like shot into a completely different dimension, like a completely uh, parallel dimension that, and everything in that dimension is like it's happening so fast, it's mind buzzing. And it's the signs are everywhere. The signs are everywhere. And the miracles are everywhere. And the miracles, when you start understanding and realizing what miracles are, and I've never really sat down and even read a whole gospel all the way through. I've just read pieces, and if I'm honest, it's the Gospels and Jesus and all of the religions and the Buddhism and all of these things I have little pieces and glimpses of from where I heard. I haven't really ever sat down and studied hardcore, but all of a sudden I'm understanding all these things from from the divine itself. Like all of a sudden all of this knowledge is coming from the center, or is coming from the Mako, from the core, or from the being connected to the source of where all of this knowledge came from. And then all of a sudden everything that I've ever learned in religion is like hitting me from all these different directions, and I can see the wisdom in it, and I can see the lost message. Like I can see how I understood it up until now, and then I can see that it's the same, but it's completely different. It's a different understanding. It's an understanding from within. It's an understanding from without. It's an understanding from above and from below. It's an understanding that is all inclusive, and that I am connected to it all, and that the ego holds us apart, and that all of society's systems are built. And I don't know if it's purposely to hold us apart, but the way that it is built holds us apart from it, because we're always under this belief, which is totally ingrained in us, in myself as well, that if I don't do, then I have to make things happen and that I'm not provided for, and then I'm starting to think about, I keep on talking the talk but walk the walk. The whole thought process started with like plastic. I have this whole garbage can here full of plastic because I didn't have a bag to put in my big garbage can, so I made it into a dry garbage can. I use supermarket bags for the wet garbage, garbage that's dirty. And all of a sudden I see that within a few days I have this whole big bin of plastic. And I was talking to because yesterday we went to that eco-friendly store, my twin and I saw these diapers. They're really cool. I wish I had them when my kids were little. My older kids, my younger kids, I wouldn't have used them. I was so far into the system and so far into the matrix. I was running a big business and I was looking for easy, easy, easy. So I don't think that I was even aware enough. But I guess you have to get lost in order to be found. You have to lose yourself in order to realize that you're lost. And to realize that in losing yourself, everything is empty. And then you can come back to a place where you find yourself. And this whole Messiah, it's like when we're together, the wavelengths, the energy that we bring together is so powerful and energetic. And I see him as really as being the Messiah, but I kind of see me as being an interpreter of the Messiah, kind of like the witness of, by being a witness, I bring it to life. Because if there is something, what is it? If there is no witness of it, like, what would Jesus be without the disciples that were able to sit down and become witnesses of the miracles? Because if he's performing the miracles, many times I don't even know that he knew what he was doing. And I don't mean that he didn't know what he was doing, because in order to channel those powers, you have to hold on to them and know them intimately and to be able to use them properly. Otherwise you're shooting strays. You're not shooting straight arrows. You're shooting just all over the place and you don't even realize what you're doing. So he had to know his powers and completely hold on to them. But I mean in a way of bringing it into words, because there's different, there's different ways of expressing. There's ways of expressing through action, and there's ways of expressing through description of a thing. And I feel like I have the ability and capability to it's like two parts of the same thing. If he has the ability, that's the twin flame. The twin flame powers, each one's powers complements the other's powers and brings them and heightens them and enhances them. So my descriptive powers, my ability to be able to read situations and people and emotions and energies and be able to bring that into expression is my gift. And by being with him, I'm able to bring all of this witnessing into being. And I'm being able to be a witness for him, which empowers him in his gifts, because I see exactly what he's doing, and it gives him strength in it and power in it and understanding and acceptance and realization. And it's like, I just spilt my tea on me. Oh well. When you start reading signs, you start reading signs everywhere. And then all of a sudden when I was doing this, I was like, it hit me like, okay, you've been talking and talking and talking about it, but this is real. And it's so powerful. And before this, I was thinking, like, what do I do with this? What do I do with this? Okay, so I see it. Okay, but then what do you do with it? It's like when you see atrocity, it's like you see what's going on in Ukraine and Russia, and you're like, oh, that's an atrocity, and you feel like the need and the urge to do something, but what do you do? There's nothing you can do, really, or you feel powerless in it. And so until now, I kind of felt like, what do you do with this? But I was just sitting down with myself. Well, not sitting down. I was doing dishes, and it hit me. It struck me like, okay, you've been talking about it and kind of like, talking and talking and desperate, but this is real. And all of a sudden, I felt like, at the same time that I feel like overwhelmed by just even seeing it or realizing it or knowing that it's true, I feel like I'm in the epicenter of it. I'm in the middle of it, and then I feel like, first thing, honored, like completely honored and graced, and like, how could it be? Overwhelmed, like, how could it be? And then there's a part of me that is like in this knowing that I always knew. Even when ever since I was a child, I always knew. There was always something in me that knew that something big was coming. And that I was in the middle of it, like in the epicenter of it. It's like, and I feel like, and not in an egotistical way, more in like a, whoa, whoa. And I feel like I'm standing, I can see it energetically, like I'm standing in my center still. And all of a sudden I'm having like a crazy deja vu. Crazy deja vu. I know that we've done this before, my twin and I. I know that we've met in past lives. I know this before 3 past lives. 3 specifically. I don't know if it's more than that or if it's always or perpetual, or because part of me feels like it's perpetual. But I know that we've met at least in 3 past lives. I know it. I felt it. Boom, boom, boom. When it hit me, it's like boom, boom, boom. Like an echo, like you would feel an echo. And I can see us like standing in the center in complete still silence, each in our own center. No dependencies. Well, we do, as humans, we have dependencies. We can't be completely disconnected from humanity, but 2 parts of one that are whole, each individual, which are whole, and then you create a whole together as 2 individual wholes. And then I see us like standing in complete still, and everything is spiraling around. And I don't mean it in an egotistical, I'm at the center, well, it is kind of, I'm at the center of the world, but the universe, but in a way that is all inclusive. And then I realized, okay, so you're talking the talk, have faith, have faith, have faith, but I'm still in a way of acting in my avatar. I'm still in a way of acting out of like ways that were put into me as a child, that I have to do. Like I have all of my work all over the house. It's and the house is a mess. Okay, but whatever. I'm not talking about that. But you see, like there's like work everywhere. I have all of the table. I have my frankincense and myrrh, and it also, like, when you look at it, all the things that I'm attracted to are like frankincense and myrrh. Oh, and look, I made all of these sticks I have 3 to hand out. So I made a video. When I was picking them, I made a video and I offered up. I had one person write to me that they wanted one, and so I'd like to send one out to you. But I have 2 more that I made for passing out. So and the memories that I've had, it's so surreal. The memories that I have are of being a reincarnation of Mary Magdalene. And I know that that sounds like, if I heard somebody say that before, I would have been like, okay, that's just crazy. But I don't feel like I am her, but I feel like she's running through me. Like it's the same energy. It's reincarnation. It's the same entity. It's the same life force. It's not mine. It's not me. My avatar is completely unique and special and one of a kind and only one in existence, but that it is the same life force that runs through me is her, and she is me. It's it's the energetic field, not the exact, not the same being, not the same, I imagine that the personality is very similar just because the energy is similar, but we lived at different times. And I'm still requesting clarity on that. That's pretty much why I don't talk about that a lot. I'm still requesting clarity on that, and it's still coming to me. So this is the first time that I've really been able to kind of admit it or speak about it fully and wholly. Like I feel like I have a connection, that we're connected. We're the same entity. And I feel like my twin is the Christ energy, and it's the same energy. It's the Messiah. It's the same thing. And we were at the beach. People are always asking us how they're always looking at us, that when we come into somewhere together, it's like we have there's something very similar about us. Something very, like same soul. But whenever we're together, people are always looking at us like, you can see that they have questions. And so we were at the beach a couple of days ago together, and so this guy that we've seen a few times at the beach, like we see him often, we hang out in the same circle, so he comes up to us and he's kind of like, so I have a question. And he says, I can see that you two are connected, but are you family? Are you sister and brother? You guys look the same. Are you a couple? What? Yeah, he said that we feel like we're the same, and it's like a feeling of when it's like he feels like we're connected. And so my twin said, yeah, we were brother and sister in past lives. He tells that. He's so first thing he said is, yeah, you're not the first one to ask. We get asked that about 1,000,000 times, of which we do all the time when we're together. People are always asking us, are you guys a couple? Are you sister and brother? Because we not only look the same, but we have the same feel to us. We're kind of like on the same energy level. We have the same vibration, and we look like we fit together. I can even tell this. Strangers pick up on this all the time, but I can even tell it. We look like we fit together. Like there's something about us that is just the same. And so I know this is my ego, but it also explains about, when you meet twin flames and they're together, you see that they just kind of like fit. they just look the same. There's something about them that's just like the same person. And so that was really funny. And then at one point, I don't remember if it was that conversation or a different conversation, my twin told somebody, and there's certain things between us, like when we're together, it's kind of like we're in the now. We kind of have like this energetic connection, and there's a lot of things that we don't quite speak outwardly about. Like yesterday we were in the car, and he put on this video that was a twin flame reading, and I was like something in me felt like it stopped breathing, and I had like this in the pit of my stomach, like down in like the lowest chakra, there was like I don't even know how to explain it. Not like my stomach was turning like in a bad way. It was like something was like, oh, like, and he put it on and we listened to it for a few minutes and then he changed it, which I find kind of humorous. It's funny. He's so funny. He's just so funny. So he told somebody, he said, every once in a while he'll throw she's Mary of Magdalene, or she's the other Maria. The Maria in the Bible, she's the not the Virgin Maria, the other one. See, now after all of that, I feel like this sense of I'm still rising. I'm still rising. I'm still requesting clarity. I felt like doing this video because it hit me like a ton of bricks. That this is real, and if this is real, this is real. And by knowing that it's real, I really need to sit down and do my God's work. This calendar, there's things that I need to write out. My book, I need to sit down and do my God's work, and just trust that, I've been getting signs, so many signs from the universe that this is true. Move with it. This is true. Move with it. And, I know what my God's work is. And every day I get up and I start getting caught in my avatar work, which is also part of it. I have to make a living, I have children that I have rent. I have children that I need to take care of. All of this is part of life, and all of that is also part of my God's work, but I need to find the time and space to actually do my God's work and trust that all of these signs are telling me, all of the signs that I'm seeing around me all the time are telling me, trust, you're going to be provided for, do your God's work, and you'll be provided for. Do it. And I still have this, it's like when I've heard all my life about blind faith, just trust and have faith. And I'm at that place that I feel like I'm being tested. Do you have faith? Because if I have faith, then I need to do my God's work, which is reconstructing the ancient calendar, because the ancient calendar is I feel like my God's work, because God is in that calendar. That calendar is based on God. It's based on the seasons. It's based on nature. It's based on the universe, the all. It's all inclusive. That calendar is all inclusive. And so I feel like I need to sit down and and reconstruct that calendar. That is my God's work. And in that, the rest will all, once I start applying myself in my God's work, and not just kind of around my God's work, like, okay, so I make anointing oil, which is so strange, because what is anointing oil? Who is the Messiah? The Messiah is the Mashiach. Mashiach is the anointed, or the anointing. The one who anoints, or the one who is anointed. By anointed with, anointed. And so it feels like I've always been kind of in. I have an alphabet poster. I have another alphabet poster that teaches the ancient, this one. It teaches the ancient alphabet. Before I ever got started on this journey, like you start seeing like the synchronicities of things. I made that poster years ago. That was the first poster that I made because I felt like I was connected to Qumran, and Qumran is where they found the old ancient scrolls, and that's the old ancient scroll Bible Hebrew. And so I made like a chart that shows how to read the ancient. And this I did years ago before I even knew anything about the twin flame journey. Also all of those things, the frankincense that I've been selling for years, frankincense and myrrh and the anointing oil and all of these things, before I ever had thoughts of the Messiah, or it seems like everything was always pulling me. I always had a pull towards this somehow. Somehow my inner being knew that I was connected. See, this is my alphabet poster. I sell it on Amazon, Etsy, but on Amazon mostly. And it seems like I've always had this divine connection to there without knowing it in my own mind, in my ego avatar, in my avatar. I've always been drawn to those things. And, when I was a kid, I was drawn to King Tut. I did all sorts of reports on King Tut. I was also drawn to Pompeii, which that I'm still trying to, and I actually visited Pompeii. My daughter surprised me with a ticket to Pompeii because she knew it was like one of my dreams to go to Pompeii. So a few years ago, she bought her and I each a ticket to Pompeii. And we went together we were there for I think it was 5 or 6 days. And that was so cool. I'm breathing through this. This is real. It's like the belief is the belief and understanding in it. When you start understanding it and you start seeing it all around you, it's undeniable. It doesn't matter what anybody else says because you can see the truth of it so clearly that your faith becomes unwavering. You see the miracles happening around you, and you start understanding what miracles look like. Miracles aren't high in the sky. Miracles are evident, and they're around you. And the way that they take form is through the irregular channels of this earthly earth. The miracles come forth through channels of the substance in the world. All of a sudden, somehow I'm able to pay my rent at the end of each month when I don't have no idea how it's going to happen at the beginning of the month. And those are real miracles. And when you look at it, it's like, okay, well, that makes sense. This came in and that came in and this came in and that. But it is all miracles. Or you're thinking of something and all of a sudden you meet somebody that has the exact solution for what you were thinking of. Or there's just miracles everywhere. There's just miracles everywhere. It's so overwhelming when you start seeing it, and then you start realizing, okay, well then I'm going to go out on a limb. There are things that are bigger than me that are trying to come through me that I keep on stopping because of my fears, because I don't fully believe, or because I feel like I have to make things happen. But there are things that are bigger than me that are trying to come through me. And as long as I'm stopping them from coming through, then I'm in pain. Because I'm not an allowance. So as long as I'm not doing my God's work, this is going to keep on coming up in me. I am so happy that I'm recording this process. I had somebody write into me. Somebody wrote on one of my videos to stop putting this out there, that twin flames isn't true, isn't real, and I'm making people like leading people, you know, down the wrong whatever. And my answer to her was, I mean, it didn't even faze me as, oh no, I'm being judged. Because my belief in it is so strong. It's overwhelming. It's undeniable. When you are on this twin flame journey, it is undeniable. It is like out of this world. You are thrown into this different dimension, and you're spiraling and spinning. And especially when during the part of coming together, spending time with your twin is like, it's intense, 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 and undeniable. There's it's so real that it is your complete reality. You start seeing that the rest was an illusion. You were asleep. You were asleep, and as you wake up, there's different parts of you waking up, and it's like the understanding that I had this morning, because the first video I did this morning, when I didn't think there was anything special in there, but I was saying how when you're asleep, you don't even know that you're asleep. You think that you are aware of things, but you're not. Even if you understand them, what is this? Even if you understand them, you're still acting on like autopilot. You're still not fully rising into your power. Even if you know it here, it doesn't fully resonate until it resonates. And this morning I was saying about asking for clarity. And then during the video, I asked for clarity. And then I've been asking for clarity in the places that I still have fog. And then, ask and you shall receive. And just, it comes in. And when it comes in like that. So I'm asking for providence. And I'm asking, I know that I've been seeing miracles all around me. There's just been miracle after miracle after miracle. I'm so spot on, There has been miracle and miracle and miracle and miracle and miracle and miracle. And I feel like I'm so loved. Also, look, my daughter brought me also soap. It smells so nice. I'm like showered with gifts. My son yesterday left me a keychain on my computer as a gift. My son left me Beastly. It's like a snack. He left me on my computer. I'm so loved. I'm just blown away by it. Like all the things that I have to be grateful for. I just wanted to say that because I was feeling that, but I am asking for clarity. I'm asking for clarity and to be guided so that I can do my God's work clearly and loyally, and I would really, really, really like to know that I'm provided for, so that I can have like the feeling of safety while I do it. I feel like there's a stage that is in between the old way of thinking and the new way of thinking, the rising into your full power, which is like a leap of faith. You have to have trust that you're being led down the right path for you, and that you just at one point you have to kind of let go of the old world and move into the new world and understand that you're going to be provided for. I think that is my big hold up. It's also one of my child's like demons, raised really poor and in the mindset that you have to work really, really hard, and that you have to do everything on your own, and being provided for is something. It's like a mindset of poverty, a poverty mindset. That would be what I would be talking about, like this poverty mindset. And I am requesting to release the poverty mindset and to move into the understanding that I am provided for when I am in the right place, when I allow myself just to flow into the right place and be in the right place and just be there. then I am provided for by the all, by the universe, by God, by whatever. I'm just provided for by consequence or sequence of events. Yeah. Through my God's work, I will be provided for, but there is a letting go and a leap of faith into the new way. And maybe it's kind of like a shift. Maybe it's a gradual. Maybe you have to hold on to the old world and slowly evolve out of it, because this physical world is not apart from the higher realms and from the spiritual world. This physical plane is the playground for this avatar. So you have to master the physical plane as well as the higher realms. It's not just like fly off on a kite somewhere and forget about your kids and they trust in God. Oh yeah, provide for me. It's like that joke about the guy that was a big tsunami came and he went up to his roof and he said, God, please save me. And God, and then a guy in a boat comes along. He says, "No, I'm not getting in the boat. I'm waiting for God." And then like another ship comes by or whatever, and a helicopter comes by, and he's saying, "No, God's gonna save me." And then he drowns and he goes to heaven and he says, "God, why didn't you save me?" He said, "What are you talking about? I sent you a raft and a ship and a helicopter." so, so I kind of feel like it's that story. But I am grateful for the guidance, and I am in complete awareness and understanding this is real. And there is, the part of me that never wanted to get in film and never wanted to I shied away from cameras, is the part of me that is my avatar. It's the part of me thinking that it's me, having shame or being embarrassed, like, oh, what are people going to think of me? This is crazy talk. Not that I had these thoughts before, because these thoughts are so strong and so in the knowing that they are undeniable. The amount of miracles, it's like God saying, miracle, 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 believe, 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 believe. Now, how many more miracles, how many more ships does God have to send me? And it's in a loving way. I feel like it's like the love of God is like, it's consistent and like, come on, come on. It's like in a caressing way. It's like, it's not, well, there's also when you go against, you get the chak. It's like the hand of God is mighty. It's like, pak. It gives you like a smack to your ego. Wake up. But the doing my God's work, like doing the things that I need to do, I feel like is coming through in a way of ease and pure love and pure, like, you supportive. It's like a hand holding me up. Every time I start going down, it's like a hand comes under and holds me up and pulls me back up and says, encourages me. And so I talked that out, and now it's time to go and actually do. do. So I feel like I kind of summed that up. I feel like it was like bubbling up in me. It just like, it had to come out. And I feel like everything with yesterday we had like that really good day, and we were together. That was such an intense energy. It's such an intense, it was intense. It was good. It was good intense, but it was intense. And so I think that it's still kind of evolving in me. It's still kind of circulating in me and still kind of resonating in me and still kind of, that all of a sudden I felt like super overwhelmed from understanding all the miracles and understanding the intensity of it and the realness of it, and just like, oh, and overwhelming, like a sense of, I'm honored and graced and humbled and empowered and everything together. And why me? I feel like chosen, or I know it sounds like corny, but it's what I feel. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this here. So thank you for watching. Till next time.